2017 BMW 530d Euro spec. Rudolf Diesel, inventor of the compression ignition engine that bears his name, allegedly drowned in the English Channel 103 years ago. While tragically unfortunate for the inventor himself, this is also bad news for those looking for a metaphor to frame the modern dilemma in which the diesel engine finds itself. At risk of sounding grossly insensitive, it would be much better for us if he had met his watery demise in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, illustrating the radically different views that Europe and the US have with regard to the automotive applications of his famous invention. For BMW, diesels represented 6% of its US sales in 2014, the last calendar year before the Volkswagen scandal limited their appeal further still. Meanwhile in Europe, compression ignition remains utterly dominant, especially among premium automakers. In some European countries it is anticipated that 90% of sales of the new 5 Series will be diesels. BMW's recent commitment to US diesel sales puts an optimistic spin on things, but there is as yet no confirmation that we will ever see a debadged version of the new 5 Series. In the European opposite land, 5 Series buyers can choose among as many diesel variants as we can gasoline engines. There's a basic 2.0-liter inline-4 520d likely to spawn a detuned 518d variant, and then a 3.0-liter inline-6 that gets progressively more powerful in its 530d and forthcoming 540d and M550d guises. The Euro-spec 530d M Sport that we drove for this review, complete with the optional all-wheel drive that BMW calls X-Drive, stands the best chance of making it to the US market. It's good, indeed. Our time with it left us wondering whether, in anything barring raw output numbers, there is currently a better diesel engine on the market. Refinement of this new generation B57 diesel is outstanding, a point emphasized by just how quiet the new 5 Series has become in terms of reduced wind and road noise. From inside the car at lower speeds, it's pretty much impossible to tell that you're running without spark plugs thanks to a soundtrack as refined as a gas engine's. Even full load doesn't produce anything more than a purposeful and pleasant growl. Although we didn't have one handy for back-to-back comparison, we're fairly certain it sounds at least as good as, if not better than, the gasoline 530i with its turbocharged 4-cylinder. Performance of the 530d is entirely adequate, if short of the face-distorting shove mustered by some of Europe's brawnier performance diesels, and which we can safely predict the M550d will deliver. The 530d's peak output of 261 horsepower is respectable, although it's the 457 pounds-to-foot torque peak, available from 2,000 revolutions per minute, that gives the car its effortless demeanor. The standard ZF-sourced 8-speed automatic works best with the driving mode switch left in its default comfort setting because Sport has it changing down a gear on small accelerator applications when it doesn't really need to, and we also have to criticize the light operation and plasticky feel of the steering wheel shift paddles. Oh, and even Europeans can't get a manual transmission with this model, sob. BMW is keen to emphasize the 5 Series' high level of connectivity, exciting news if you deeply desire a car only because it can synchronize with your diary and Microsoft Exchange email, as well as its plethora of advanced safety systems. Most of these keep a watchful eye in the background, but a stretch of Spanish autopista gave us a chance to test the semi-autonomous cruise control. While this manages straight stretches well, it struggled to apply enough steering to keep the car on track in tighter highway corners and wouldn't change lanes when the turn signal stalk was pressed. Maybe we weren't within the 43 to 112 mph window in which lane change assistant functions, or maybe we didn't hold the directional stalk long enough for its tastes. It's probably the one area where the 5 Series feels notably inferior to the Drive Pilot equipped E-Class. Our test of the previous generation model returned 32 miles per gallon and wore a base price of $57,525. Based on our European drive, this new one is probably the most interesting new Generation 5 series so far, certainly this side of the forthcoming V8-powered M550iX drive. We think Americans would appreciate it.